Module 6, Segment 1, Creating an Invoice. The objectives of this training session are to create an invoice, add charges to the invoice, and to print the invoice and a packing slip. This segment assumes you have completed Modules 1, 2, 3, and 5. We will begin by locating and opening the sales order to be invoiced. Click the sales order icon arrow and select Browse. The Find for Browsing Sales Orders window opens. Type in the sales order number and select OK. The Browsing Sales Orders window opens, listing all sales orders that match the number you typed. To open the sales order, double-click anywhere on the line. The sales order window opens. To create the invoice, select the Global Action button. The Global Options window opens. Select Invoices and Forms. The Browsing Invoices and Pick Tickets window opens. Select the Add Action button. The Adding Invoice window opens. You are now creating the invoice header. All information from your sales order header should appear, such as the customer's purchase order number. You may now record information, such as the number of cartons and weight of the goods being sold, and the airway bill or tracking number of the shipment. When finished, select OK. The Adding Items from Sales Order to Invoice window opens. You will see all of the uninvoiced items from your sales order displayed. Those that have stock reserved will have a check next to them. Select the F10 Done action button. The Invoice window opens. In the Items area, you will see the lines from your sales order. Notice that on each line you will see your sales order number. When we have finished with the invoice, you will be able to return to your sales order and see your invoice number displayed in the Reservations and Shipments area. Now we will add a charge to the invoice. You will recall that charges can also be added to quotes and sales orders. The process of adding a charge to the invoice will be the same as adding a charge to a sales order or quote. To add a charge to the invoice, select the Charge Action button. The Invoice Item window opens. Your cursor will be in the Table-Driven Charge field. Open the Charge table to make a selection. The Browsing Charges window opens. Double-click with your mouse to select a charge. In this example, we are inserting a special handling fee. Type the amount of the charge in either the Home Sell Price field or Currency Sell Price field. Select OK. You will be returned to the Invoice window, where you will see your charge as a new line item. Now we will print the invoice and a packing slip. Select the Global Action button. The Global Options window opens. Select Print Invoice. The Invoice Settings window opens. This is a print settings window, like those we have worked with in the Quote and Sales Order modules. Select Edit and verify that there is a 1 in the Copies field. The document drop-down is set to Standard Invoice, and the Destination drop-down is set to Preview. For a detailed description of all the invoice print settings, please refer to Online Help, Chapter 7. With your mouse, click on the Additional Documents 1 tab. At the bottom of this tab, you will see the settings for the packing slip. As in the settings for the invoice, verify that there is a 1 in the Copies field, and the Destination drop-down is set to Preview. The standard invoice document is also used here to generate the packing slip. Select OK. To generate the invoice and the packing slip, select Print. A print preview window opens, containing the invoice. Review the invoice, and when you are ready, click the printer icon at the top of the preview to print it. When finished, select the Close button. A second print preview window opens containing the packing slip. As you did with the invoice, review the packing slip, and when you are ready, click the printer icon at the top of the preview to print it. When finished, select the Close button. This will return you to the Invoice Settings window. Close this window to return to the Invoice window. A confirmation window opens asking if you would like to post the invoice. Posting the invoice finalizes it, allowing no further changes to be made. If you look at the Invoice window behind the confirmation window, you will see that the invoice status has been set to Reviewed. Printing the invoice changes it to this Reviewed status. Invoices must be in a reviewed status before they can be posted. If your printed invoice was correct, select Yes in the confirmation window. If your invoice requires modification, select No. Making changes to the invoice will revert it to an Open status, and it will have to be printed and set to a reviewed status before it can be posted. In our example, we will select Yes in the confirmation window. In the Invoice window, you will see that our invoice has now been set to a Posted status. To recap what we have learned in this segment, we have created an invoice, added a charge to the invoice, printed the invoice and a packing slip, and then posted the invoice. You may now proceed to Module 7, Segment 1. Purchase Orders.